What's up, guys, in the works, and we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite guns in the game, the SV98, and I absolutely just love this weapon. I always have. I loved it a lot in Bad Company games. You know, it's always been one of my favorite sniper rifles just because I think it's so simplistic yet effective, and that's why I've always kind of liked the design of the SV98. But we were playing hardcore, and you're like, what? Hardcore? I thought you hated hardcore. Well, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'll be the first to admit that hardcore is not my cup of tea. But you tend to just run into other recon players when you play hardcore TDM. It's a majority of people just running around trying to get some elite sniper clips, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And you know, the admin switches me to the other team, but that's okay. We're gonna keep on trucking. But hardcore, you know, you only have 60 health, so in most situations, your sniper rifles are always going to kill in one shot. Now, the funny thing about the SV98 is you'll probably be saying in the comments, you know, SV98 doesn't do enough damage, you know, it's only a 50 damage weapon at 80 meters. Well, the way I'm playing this gun right now, I will not be outside of 80 meters because I'm playing very aggressive with it, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about, why I like the SV98. And the thing about hardcore is, the reason why I've never really been a huge fan of it is I feel like it's just too luck based, because if someone just hits you with a stray bullet, you know, you can go down really easily, and it's just you die too fast. I feel like it doesn't cater to my playstyle. Now, I don't have anything against hardcore. It is a lot of fun to play hardcore if you want to run around and just snipe a little bit, but as far as being the core element of the game, it's never really just been my thing. So I mean, that's the reason why I don't play it very often. But if I want to run around and get some sniping clips and just have fun, yeah, for sure, I'll play some hardcore. It is fun from time to time, and it's a good way to get some of your bolt action achievements out of the way. If you're still struggling with that L96, go in there and try it out. It won't help you with the headshot part, but it'll help you with the 100 kill part. But the SV98, why do I like this weapon? I mean, you look at the base stats and you're like, what's really special about this? I mean, it seems to do everything very average. You know, it has a pretty average bullet velocity, it has a pretty average chambering speed, which, if you think about it though, it is the second fastest chambering weapon, which means it's going to shoot around, I think, 48 rounds per minute, whereas the M40, which is the fastest bolt action in terms of chambering, can shoot almost 55 rounds per minute. So the M40 can shoot an extra 7 rounds per minute. That will save you in certain situations, but I would say in the great scheme of things, those split second isn't really going to do that much for you. I still say that the M40 is probably the best, or, you know, tied with the SV98 in terms of being the best aggressive style sniper. But the advantage the SV98 does have over the M40 is the fact that it has much faster bullet velocity, and a lot of people tend to overlook that. I mean, in certain situations that's not really going to be a huge factor, but you know, the thing that's always drawn me to the SV98 isn't necessarily the bullet velocity, isn't necessarily the fact, you know, the chambering speed, it's the hip fire. And playing a lot of recon, or very aggressively, I guess that aggressive style recon, I've kind of learned that hip fire is going to be your BFF. You're going to have to learn to hip fire in certain situations just because people are going to run up on you. It's inevitable. When you're rushing around with a sniper rifle, you're going to run into people around corners, and oftentimes the only, you know, choice you have is to hip fire. So that bonus you get from the SV98 is huge, especially if you're running laser sight, which I am running right now. It's pretty easy to pick people off with hip firing. You know, I found that if you tend to fire a little bit before you aim down sights, you know, the laser sight will help you in that situation too. So in terms of being a weapon that's just deadly from the hip, you know, the SV98 is definitely the bolt action to go with. I mean, the M40 is definitely a very solid choice in close quarter situations, but in terms of being a more versatile weapon, I find the M40 is very, very effective. Now, I always do carry a good secondary. You know, I'm using my G17 suppress, but I found the Rex and the Magnum work really well to kind of counteract that, because if you get stuck in a situation where you don't think that you can hip fire, you know the person's coming and you whip out your pistol, the Magnum or the Rex is really going to be a better choice because it's a heavy hitter. Now, in certain situations though, I find a suppressed weapon actually works rather well with this. You know, you're never going to be in the spot where you're going to want to shoot someone and switch to your pistol. Maybe if you miss, it might be quicker than actually chambering the next bullet, but for the most part, you know, you're going to be focusing on trying to get that one-shot kill. Unless you know they're coming, then you'll have your pistol ready to go. But like I said, the hip fire bonus on this thing is pretty stellar. You probably saw me use it quite a few times within this video, you know, really exploiting that bonus you get from it. And SV98 is a lot of fun. If you're an aggressive recon player and you've never given this thing a fair shake, it's definitely worth it. It's the reason why it is my most used sniper rifle. I'm actually working on getting my 600 kills with this now. I'm going to save it for next weekend's double XP though, but you know, it's a lot of fun. So try out some aggressive recon if you're getting bored with Battlefield 3 and want to mix things up a little bit. You know, this is the hipfire bolt action king, but if you missed it in my last videos, I did a G3A3 video where we talked about why it seems to be one of the unloved weapons in Battlefield 3. Not necessarily underused, but just unloved. And before that, I did a cool little Counter-Strike Go video where I talked about the beta and how I'm really enjoying it. So if you're a Counter-Strike fan or you just want some variety, check that out. I will see you guys next time. Peace.